Audit your circle. Before you step into 2026, stop and really look at who's sitting at your table, not just who follows you online, not just who claps when you win, but who's really there when the lights are off. Because some people only like you when you're losing. They like the version of you that needs them. But the second you start growing, the second you start winning, they get quiet. You feel it. You sense the shift. And instead of confronting it, you tell yourself, it's fine, they're just busy. No, they're not busy, they're uncomfortable. See, growth makes people uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they're not doing. And you can't shrink yourself to make them feel safe. You can love people and still outgrow them. You can care deeply and still choose distance. The truth is, your environment is louder than your motivation. You can be disciplined, focused, and ambitious. But if you're surrounded by people who settle, it starts to rub off. Energy is contagious. Whether it's doubt or drive, you'll catch it. So ask yourself, who in your circle challenges you to think bigger? Who reminds you of your potential, not your past? Who checks you when you drift? And who just lets you coast because it's convenient for them? You need to know the difference between someone who supports your growth and someone who tolerates it. Because those who only tolerate you will start resenting you once you become everything they said you couldn't be. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about creating space for alignment. Every version of you deserves a different circle. The version of you that's healing might need silence. The version of you that's building might need accountability. The version of you that's thriving might need humility. Don't confuse loyalty with limitation. Staying loyal to people who refuse to grow with you is the fastest way to lose momentum. Before 2026 begins, sit down and take inventory, not emotionally, logically. Who are the 5 people you talk to the most? Look at their habits. Look at their conversations. Look at how you feel after spending time with them. Are you drained or are you driven? Are they gossiping or are they growing? You don't have to announce your distance. You just quietly shift. You stop explaining, stop proving, stop defending. Because when your vision expands, explanations shrink. Sometimes peace is expensive, but it's always worth the price. When you start saying no to chaos, yes to peace, and yes to purpose, your circle will change. Some will fall away naturally, others will leave loudly. Let them. The right people won't make you choose between your growth and their comfort. They'll grow beside you. So before 2026 arrives, don't ask, who's with me? Ask, who's growing with me? Because that question will define your next chapter. And trust me, your future deserves people who see your worth without a highlight reel. Your table deserves conversation that builds, not drains. And you deserve to walk into 2026 surrounded by people who make you forget about competition because you're too busy celebrating each other's wins. Fix your systems, not just your goals. Everyone loves to talk about goals. Next year, I'm going to get in shape. Next year, I'm going to start my business. Next year, I'm going to be more disciplined. But the problem isn't your goals, it's your systems. Because a goal without a system is just a wish dressed up as ambition. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And if your habits are shaky, your results will always be temporary. You don't need another list of resolutions. You need routines that make those resolutions real. Think about it. If you set a goal to read 30 books, the system is reading 10 pages a day. If you set a goal to get fit, the system is showing up to the gym 3 times a week, no matter how you feel. If you want to grow your income, the system is tracking every dollar, learning every week, and making small, consistent improvements. Systems are boring, repetitive, unglamorous, but they're what separate dreamers from doers. Most people fail not because they lack motivation, but because they keep waiting for it. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. But readiness is a trap. You don't feel ready before growth. You feel resistance. You'll always have an excuse, always have something more important. The difference between people who talk about change and people who live it is simple. One builds emotion, the other builds systems. If you want to win in 2026, stop chasing the high of setting goals and start designing your days around progress. Because discipline isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up even when it's messy. The gym when you're tired. The journal when you don't have the words. The side project when nobody's watching. That's the system. Consistency is your real superpower. You can write down, I want to be successful. 1,000 times. But if your system is scrolling before sunrise, sleeping late, and saying tomorrow to every opportunity, you're building failure, not success. Goals are map, but systems are the vehicle. You can't get to your destination if you never get in the car. Before 2026 begins, stop focusing on what you want to achieve and start building the structure that makes achievement inevitable. Wake up earlier by 15 minutes. Track your habits. Build a small routine that aligns with who you want to become. The small things compound. You won't notice the change day by day, but one day you'll look back and realize you've become everything your old self said was impossible. You have to build your life in a way that success becomes automatic. Make it easier to do the right thing and harder to do the wrong one. Put your gym clothes where you'll see them. Delete the apps that steal your focus. Replace I'll try with I'll schedule it, because what gets scheduled gets done. The truth is, you don't need a new year. You need new habits. Don't wait for 2026 to hand you a clean slate. Create it now. Systems don't care about timing, they care about action. So start today, not someday. Build routines that support your purpose. When you master your systems, your goals stop being dreams and start being your daily reality. Get financially aware, not just motivated. Everyone says they want to be financially free, but most people avoid their finances like they're avoiding bad news. They don't check their bank accounts. They don't track their spending, and they keep saying, I'll start saving when I make more money. But here's the truth. More money doesn't fix money problems. Awareness does. If you can't manage $100, you won't suddenly learn how to manage 10,000. Because financial freedom doesn't start with income, it starts with intention. Before 2026 begins, you've got to stop being scared of your numbers. Look at them. Face them. Know exactly where your money goes every month. Awareness is power, but only if you're honest with yourself. You can't heal what you hide, and you can't grow what you ignore. Too many people live in denial, buying to impress, spending to escape, and calling it living. But that lifestyle has a bill attached to it, and it always comes due. Getting financially aware isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. It's not about cutting out everything that makes you happy. It's about aligning what you spend with what you value. If your money isn't working toward your goals, it's working against them. Every swipe, every click, it's just $5. Moment adds up. You can't build wealth if your habits leak at one transaction at a time. And let's be clear, motivation won't save you when the bills come due. Motivation feels good, but it fades. Systems, awareness, and discipline keep you steady when the motivation wears off. That's why you have to treat your finances like a relationship. You can't ignore it and expect it to grow. You have to check in, communicate, plan, and be intentional. The goal isn't to just make money, it's to master it. Because the moment you stop letting money control you, you start controlling your future. Maybe you grew up never being taught about money. Maybe it's always been a source of stress or shame. But 2026 is your line in the sand, the year you stop saying, I don't understand finances, and start saying, I'm learning. There's no shame in starting small. Read one book. Watch one video, talk to someone who's where you want to be. Every bit of knowledge compounds, just like every dollar you save. Start now. Track your expenses. Build an emergency fund, even if it's small. Set up automatic savings. Learn how to invest. Don't wait until you have more. Use what you have wisely. Because financial awareness isn't about being rich. It's about being responsible. It's about being free from the anxiety that comes from not knowing. You can't build a strong life on weak financial habits. So before 2026 starts, look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done being afraid of money. Then prove it. Build the awareness. Build the discipline. Build a future that doesn't depend on luck. It depends on you. Because the truth is, wealth isn't built in a year. It's built in the choices you make every single day. And the earlier you start, the lighter your future feels. Prioritize your health like it's an emergency, because it is. You don't get a second body. You don't get a spare heart or a backup brain. Yet most people treat their health like something they'll get around to when life slows down. But life doesn't slow down, it speeds up. And if you don't make time for your health now, your body will make you find it later. That's the trade. You can choose discipline today or deal with consequences tomorrow. Either way, the bill comes due. Before 2026 begins, you need to make a decision to stop surviving and start strengthening. You can't pour from an empty body. You can't chase dreams on broken sleep and caffeine alone. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself to bed on time. Health isn't just about lifting weights or eating salads. It's about honoring the body that carries your purpose. It's not vanity, it's stewardship. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start caring enough to change one small thing. Drink more water. Stretch in the morning. Take a 10-minute walk after you eat. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier. Those small, boring, invisible choices are the real flex. Because every small health choice is a promise you make to your future self. You're saying, I care enough about who I'll be in 5 years to act differently today. We live in a world that celebrates hustle but ignores recovery. We glorify exhaustion as if burning out means we're doing something right. But burnout doesn't prove your dedication. It exposes your imbalance. You can't chase your dreams if your body gives out halfway through the race. Energy is your greatest asset, not your schedule. And when your energy is gone, nothing else matters. Not your plans, not your goals, not your ambitions. If your phone battery drops to 10%, you panic. But when your own body is running on empty, you keep pushing. You tell yourself, I'll rest later. But later never comes until you're forced to stop. Don't wait for a health scare to start treating your body with respect. Don't wait for pain to wake you up. Prevention is cheaper than repair. Health isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. If your mind is cluttered, your body will feel it. Stress, anxiety, overthinking, they all show up somewhere. So take care of your peace like it's medicine. Guard your mornings. Limit the noise. Breathe. Meditate. Pray. Whatever helps you center, do it like it's sacred because it is. Before 2026 begins, remind yourself that success without health is failure in disguise. The goal isn't to live long, it's to live well, to wake up with energy, to move without pain, to think clearly, to laugh easily, to be present. You don't need to be a fitness influencer, you just need to care enough to start. So this year, let your health be your protest against burnout. Let your discipline be your defense against decline. Your body has carried you through every battle, every heartbreak, every victory. It deserves more than neglect. It deserves gratitude in the form of action. Because when you take care of your body takes care of everything else. Forgive, let go, and reset. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. You can't walk into 2026 carrying the same weight you've been dragging for years. The resentment, the regret, the what ifs, the I should have, they all take up space where peace should live. You think holding on to it protects you, but really it's poisoning you. Every time you replay that moment, that betrayal, that mistake, you reopen a wound that your future keeps trying to heal. Forgiveness isn't about saying what happened was okay. It's about deciding that it doesn't get to control you anymore. It's closing the chapter without needing an apology, because waiting for someone to make it right keeps you stuck in a story that's already over. Some people won't say sorry. Some people won't even understand what they did, and that's fine. You don't need closure from them when you can give peace to yourself. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing freedom over fixation. It's saying, this memory exists, but it no longer defines me. When you stop rehearsing pain, you start rehearsing peace. You stop being a victim of the past and become the author of your next chapter. But here's the thing, you can't reset your life while your heart's still anchored to what broke it. Healing starts the moment you decide to stop looking backward. Maybe you need to forgive someone else. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for the chances you didn't take, for the words you said in anger, for the time you wasted trying to be enough for people who were never meant to understand you. Self-forgiveness is the hardest kind because it requires honesty and grace at the same time. But until you give yourself both, you'll keep punishing yourself for simply being human. You deserve to enter 2026 lighter. That means decluttering your soul as much as your schedule. You've been through things that changed you, but change doesn't mean you're broken. It means you survived. You adapted. You grew. Stop resenting the version of you that did what they had to do to make it this far. Thank them. They got you here. But now it's time to let them rest. Reset doesn't mean starting over. It means starting better. It's walking into the new year with clarity instead of chaos. It's setting boundaries instead of building walls. It's choosing peace not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. You've seen what happens when you hold on too long. This time, see what happens when you let go. Before 2026 begins, write this down. I release everything that no longer serves me. Say it until you believe it, because freedom isn't found in control. It's found in surrender. When you finally put down the weight, you'll realize it was never the world holding you back. It was your grip on what's gone. So breathe. Forgive. Let it fall away. The past already had its time with you. 2026 is waiting, and it's lighter, clearer, freer. Walk into it unburdened. Walk into it whole. Because peace is not something you find, it's something you choose, one release at a time.